We've all heard stories about mythical creatures, but what if these beings weren't just products of human imagination? Today I'll show you 7 mythical creatures that people have talked about and feared for centuries, some hiding in the deep ocean, others flying through the night sky looking for their next victim. Number 7. Indus worm. The Greeks swore they weren't making it up. Over 2,000 years ago, they described a massive worm crawling through the Indus River. But this wasn't just some wild story. They insisted Indians hunted this creature to collect oil that could catch fire. Sounds crazy, right? It probably is. Today, there's absolutely no evidence such a worm ever existed in India. No remains, no sightings, nothing. Yet millions of years ago, a different giant roamed Earth. Its name? Arthropleura. This wasn't a worm. It was about 2.6 meters long, roughly the width of a school bus. It crawled the planet long before dinosaurs even walked the Earth. So how did this real prehistoric giant become a legendary worm? Likely, the Greeks noticed locals using flammable oil. They couldn't figure out where it came from, so they mixed fossil discoveries with wild imagination. The result? A frightening and enduring myth, the Indus worm. Number 6. El Silbon. This legend isn't just spooky, it's disturbing. Long ago, a spoiled boy demanded his father hunt for deer, his favorite meal. But when his father came home empty-handed, the boy snapped. He killed his father, tore out his organs, and handed them to his mother for dinner. At first, the mother didn't notice, but something tasted wrong. As she realized the awful truth, rage took over. She cursed her son forever. But when the grandfather found out what had happened, he showed no mercy to the boy and tied him to a post in the wilderness, whipped him until his back was ruined, and poured alcohol, chili, and lemon into the wounds. The punishment didn't end there. He stuffed the father's organs in a bag and strapped it to the boy's back. 2 rabid dogs were unleashed, but before they attacked, the old man sentenced the boy to wander the earth forever, dragging his gruesome load. He became El Silbon, a towering, skeleton-like figure up to 6 meters tall, with a sack of bones and a thirst for vengeance. But why the whistler? El Silbon is known for his eerie whistle, notes rising one by one. Locals say if you hear the whistle close, you're safe. But if it sounds far away, death is near. He stalks the night, preying on drunks and unfaithful men, but anyone could be next. Hidden in the trees, he strikes fast, shredding victims and adding their bones to his bag. Even today, people in Colombia and Venezuela claim to hear the whistler at night. Is it just a story to scare kids, or could something real be hiding in the darkness? Number 5. Siren Head. Imagine a creature like nothing you've ever seen, tall and skinny, almost 40 feet high, with a body that looks like a rotting tree. Where its head should be, there are 2 giant, rusty sirens. Siren Head stands completely still. Sometimes, it blends in like a streetlight. From its speakers come terrifying sounds, static, radio chatter, and even voices that pull people closer. It has no face and no eyes, yet somehow it sees everything. It hunts in total silence. People say these creepy sounds are the last thing anyone hears before they disappear forever. Siren Head first appeared in a viral drawing by artist Trevor Henderson in 2018. That's why most people think it's just made up. But the truth may not be that simple, because when you really think about it, could something this strange actually exist? It sounds impossible until you learn about the Tully monster. It was a real animal that lived 300 million years ago. Scientists still don't know if it had bones or not. Its mouth was far from its body. Its eyes were placed on a weird stalk. That setup looks a lot like Siren Head's strange body. So if nature made something as weird as the Tully monster, who says Siren Head is only a story? Today, Siren Head lives in modern urban legends. It shows up in games, horror movies, and scary stories whispered by kids at night. Maybe it started as fiction, but in a world where sound can fool your senses, where voices call your name from the shadows, maybe Siren Head isn't just a story we invented. Maybe it's something we remembered. Number 4. Manananggal. This is the one that gave me actual nightmares. If you're from the Philippines, you already know how terrifying this thing is. But if you're not, buckle up. She starts off looking like any ordinary woman. Beautiful, calm, maybe even married. But that's just the cover. Because when night falls, the truth crawls out. Her arms stretch into massive bat-like wings. Her skin tightens. And then, her body splits in half. Literally. The upper half comes off and flies into the night, while her lower body stays behind. Her insides? They hang down, moving slightly with the wind. Yes, you can actually see them. And it gets worse. She hunts in silence, flying quietly through the darkness. Her favorite targets? Sleeping victims. But she especially seeks out pregnant women. Using her long, thin tongue, she slips through open windows to suck the fetus straight from the mother's belly. When it comes to men, she tears out their insides and sucks out their blood. No warning, no mercy. Now you're probably thinking, that sounds too wild to be real. But here's the creepy part. In some rural parts of the Philippines, people believed in her so deeply that they changed the way they built their homes. Roofs were slanted, so she couldn't land on them. Windows were placed far from bedrooms to keep her deadly tongue hung out. So, is the Manananggal just a story, or was she something more? Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. She's not just scary, she's unforgettable. Number 3. Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga isn't your typical witch. She's one of the strangest legends to come out of Slavic folklore. And trust me, her story isn't just bizarre, it might be more real than you'd think. First off, there's not just one Baba Yaga. There are 3 sisters, all with the same name. Weird start, right? It gets weirder. Some describe her as a terrifying old woman, pale skin, wild hair, and a taste for children. Others say she's wise, even helpful, if you approach her with respect. So which one is she? Monster or guide? That's the twist. She's both. In the stories, Baba Yaga might test a hero and offer magical help, but she might also curse them, devour them, or vanish them completely. She's unpredictable. She decides who lives and who never returns. She lives deep in the forest, flies through the trees in a giant mortar, steering with a pestle like it's nothing. And her house? Not a cave, not a wooden hut, a cabin standing on giant chicken legs. Yes, chicken legs. Now that sounds like pure fantasy, right? But here's where it gets chilling. In parts of northern Russia and Siberia, real forest huts were built off the ground, balanced on tall tree stumps with roots that actually looked like claws. Locals used them to store food, or even bones of the dead. From a distance, they looked like cabins with legs. And that's not all. Some scholars say Baba Yaga was inspired by ancient women, midwives, forest healers, and witches, who were once respected, but later feared. They lived alone, knew strange herbs, and when people got sick or disappeared, villagers didn't blame ghosts. They whispered it was Baba Yaga. Some even carved protective symbols into their homes, just in case. So maybe she wasn't just a story to scare kids. Maybe she was a memory of something real, a woman, a threat, a spirit people feared and tried to explain through stories. Number 2. Sea Eater Monster. This isn't just a story, it's a warning. The creature they call the Sea Eater is one of the biggest, strangest things ever talked about. But describing it, that's nearly impossible. It's just too big. Some say it stands 5 kilometers tall, 4.5 wide, and stretches over 25 kilometers long. That's bigger than most cities. Others believe it's even larger. But truth is, no one really knows. The Sea Eater lives deep in the world's oceans, far from ships, far from people. But when it moves, it pulls itself through the sea, mouth wide open. It doesn't roar, it doesn't hunt, it simply swallows. Islands, ships, waves, gone. That's how it got its name. Witnesses describe a feeling of total fear, the kind that makes you freeze. People who've seen it say they felt small, like they didn't matter. Its body is covered in thick, rubbery skin, like a whale's, but somehow water flows through it, making it glide smoothly. Some ancient sailors were so shocked, they sailed straight into its mouth, staring in awe, unable to turn away. But its most terrifying feature? 2 massive arms, not made of flesh, but of bones. From sea creatures, it crushed. Each arm is taller than a skyscraper. They move fast, up to 1,000 miles per hour. It uses them to drag itself across the ocean floor, or reach for whatever it wants. It's rare to see, but sometimes it gets close enough to shore for people to notice. In 1927, a woman named Evelyn Mary was sunbathing on the beach when she noticed something strange, what she called a moving mountain in the sea. She ran as it crept closer, terrified by the size and silence of the thing. In 1930, a fisherman and his father were casting nets in the deep Pacific. Suddenly, the older man saw a dark shape rising beneath their boat. Before they could react, the creature surfaced, capsizing their vessel. They were never seen again. But the scariest story? In 1862, the Sea Eater surfaced near an unknown coast. The waves it triggered reached 120 meters high. Tsunamis followed, flooding the land for over 60 years. Some people say these stories are just myths, but they keep showing up over and over again. Pirates told tales of serpents that swallowed the world. Religious texts mention the Leviathan, an underwater beast that punishes the wicked. Even Egyptian carvings show something eerily similar, a creature too big to understand, hiding below the waves. So where is it now? Most sightings come from the Pacific and Indian Oceans, rarely the Atlantic. But those who claim to have seen it believe one thing: if it shows itself, something bad is coming. It never touches land. It seems to rot in shallow water like it's allergic to it. But if it ever found a way to survive on land, the results would be catastrophic. Right now, it's been quiet, too quiet. Maybe it's sleeping, maybe it's watching, or maybe it's getting ready to rise again. Number 1, Mokele and Mbembe. You've probably heard of the Loch Ness Monster, but deep in Africa's Congo rainforest, there's a legend that's just as strange. It's called Mokele and Mbembe, and for generations, local tribes have claimed to see it. They're not alone. Some explorers say they've seen it too. They describe a creature with a long neck, shaped like a dinosaur, specifically a sauropod. Not a giant, just medium-sized, calm and plant-eating. But here's the strange part: huge footprints, almost 3 feet long, found deep in the jungle. Sounds wild, right? Because according to science, all non-bird dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago. So how could something like this still be alive? That's the mystery. Could it really be a dinosaur? Maybe not. But what if it's something else, like Chalicotherium, a strange, long-necked mammal that went extinct not too long ago? Some believe a few might still be hiding in the jungle's deepest shadows. And here's the thing: the Congo rainforest isn't just just massive. It's unexplored. Think of it as the Amazon's mysterious twin. In a place like that, even the impossible can feel possible. But here's something most people miss. What's hidden in the Congo is just the beginning. There are even stranger creatures out there, each with their own secrets. So click here to watch the next part and dive even deeper into the mysteries of mythical creatures.